Okay, so hi, Cody here. I've started working with a 3D printer recently, and I'm printing all sorts of cool stuff. And I've discovered that part of this whole printing gig, especially when you're making stuff that typically when you print it, you're going to print it in one color, and it's not going to look like what you imagine, unless, of course, you have the right filament, but it's not always the case. So what I've done here is I have printed out this the One Ring little holder thingy. I'm going to use it for dice, but it can be used for many things. I sprayed a hammered metal gloss. Let's see what it is. It's this one right here. Metallic paint and primer in one. And it's not hammered metal. It's black stainless steel. Now, that was one of the better primers that I had on hand to use, so that's what I used because I didn't figure I'd be able to use this awesome looking gold paint straight on the plastic. So, a primer. Now, what I'm going to do next is, because I'm going to need to kind of move this thing around as I'm painting it, and if I get the sides wet, I won't be able to touch it with my hands. So I've got this thing that I'm going to affix to the bottom of it with some tape, and that will hopefully make it to where I can maneuver it around a little bit. How I'm going to do that is I'm going to use some of this here blue tape, and then kind of roll it onto itself so that way I can have sticky on more than one side. And I'm going to stick it to one side of this lid, and I'm going to do that very same thing again. Because I'd like to have 2 points of contact that are sticky. Hopefully this works. If not, I was thinking about using hot glue, but I didn't really want to heat up the PLA like that because it could warp it, and I'd rather not take that chance if I don't have to. I figured this tape would be gentle enough to where I can stick it on the bottom, and I will be able to move this print around and paint it with relative ease. Let me move this camera over just a little bit. I'm not used to doing this stuff. I don't usually record myself. I've never considered myself that entertaining, but why not? So I got a few things that I'm going to potentially use to try and paint this, because on some of the other stuff that I've painted recently, I've noticed that some of these brushes will leave gnarly brush streaks. That is if your coating material is a little bit thicker, like some of the stuff I've been using. And I'd like to not get brush strokes if I can avoid it. So what I intend on doing is using this here foam thing. I want to try it. I don't know how it's going to turn out, so you're going to experience this with me. But so my plan is to put some of my gold paint on this dirty piece of cardboard that I've been using and dab at it with this foam doohickey, and then just gently go in here because I don't want to get the paint inside of here if I can avoid it. So I'm going to be using gentle little rubs to see if I can just kind of glide over the top and maybe not drag paint in. So I'm going to be very light with what I have on here, hopefully. So I could probably talk forever, but let's not and say we did. So I'm going to pour some of this gold paint on here. And let's do a small test and see how well this little foam doohickey absorbs the paint into the end of it. And I'm only going to put it on the end because, like I said, I don't want to drag a bunch of paint into those recesses if I can avoid it. So I'm going to wipe a little bit of the extra off because I'd like to just have enough on there to be soaked into the end of the foam. Let's see. Alright, that looks pretty good. Alright, let's see what we got here. Let's see how this looks as I rub it on. It's not looking the greatest, but you know, maybe after a couple applications like this, that might look better. So let's see what we got here. Let's see if I can gently, ever so gently rub over those areas. And it's so far so good. It's looking like I'm not really getting anything in those recesses. I'm really being super gentle and barely touching the surface with this. But I mean, I think this foam brush might work. It's looking good. Get a little bit more on here. Just a little bit though, because I don't want to overdo it. Well, this has the possibility to be a kind of lengthy video. We'll see. Because I feel like I will end up doing a second coat on this. So there's a lot of that steel color kind of shining through, but I expected that to a certain bit. This is not a paint that is designed for what I'm using it for. But I figured that with that good primer on there, that the immediate substrate won't exactly matter because my paint will be bonding to the primer, not to the plastic. Let's see. I do see kind of some foam brush strokes, but this paint will probably do a bit to level itself as it rests. Maybe. But this isn't looking bad. I'm actually kind of liking the steel color that's shining through a little, because there are some particulates in this paint that are that steel color. So it was already there. This is just making it a little bit more visible, kind of. This is looking pretty good. Rub the bottom there. Gotta remember to not be too aggressive, because I already kind of dabbed in there a couple times. It might not be super noticeable, but I did it, so I'll definitely know it was there. Alright, so that's kind of the first skinny coat. I'm definitely gonna give it another one. It's looking pretty good though. And the more I kind of rub around, the more of that steel color that goes away. And this is, I mean, I can kind of feel it's drying kind of quickly, so I'll probably just be able to go right into a second application once I make my next pass around, because I'm gonna, like, just like you would on like a house's wall, I'm gonna do kind of a back roll over all of this, make sure I don't have anything pooling anywhere, no runny bits. Couldn't call myself a professional painter if I was leaving runny bits. And let me explain. I'm a professional house painter. I don't paint these types of things usually, but just recently my hobby has kind of pushed me in that direction. So here I am, painting plastic. Primarily for my enjoyment, but I mean, I may consider selling some of these things, because why not? People like cool stuff. See, right there I got in there a little bit, but I'll be able to go in there with a fine brush and then kind of go over all of that All right, this is looking pretty good. Let me get some more stuff on there. Oh yeah, that's looking real good. I like it. That is looking so good. And with this metallic paint, it's paint for your walls. It's not paint for models and things of that nature. But improvise, adapt, and overcome. Ooh, there's a spot that's kind of not taken too well. It's all right. That's why we'll do multiple passes. Oh, I need to pour a little bit more stuff, but I gotta keep it agitated. Otherwise, the particulates that are inside of there will kind of sink to the bottom, and that's what helps give this paint its shine, is having those different particulates in there. You should see this stuff on a wall. I painted a house with it on the inside probably like, I don't know, a year and a half ago or something like that, and it looked amazing. The room was to become like a wine drinking room, a study. There's bookshelves and things of that nature in there now. Oh, all right, slow down, mister. Ooh, yeah, that is good stuff right there. Make sure we get everything. I don't want to leave anything uncoated. I don't know. I might keep the inside of this black. I kind of like the difference in contrast. And after I touch up the recesses in here, I think I'm going to throw a clear coat over this, because this type of paint isn't really designed for wear, so to speak. So I definitely want to do what I can to make sure it's not going to get all scratched up and marred up and all that, all those ups. That spot right there is going to have to dry a little bit more before I pass over it again, because it's not really taking as well as these other regions. But this looks good. And then once this dries and I can get in there without disturbing wet paint adjacent. Oh man, that looks so good. I've been rolling it around. What? Because when you watch the movie, you see the glow on the lettering in there, and I'm trying to think off the top of my head what color that glow is, but I am not sure. I can't remember. Man, this looks so good. I am super happy with how this is turning out. Oh yeah, and like I said at the beginning of this, I don't usually record myself for things, so periodically I'm probably gonna move out of camera every now and again just because I'm not used to doing this type of stuff. Cody the Painter, not necessarily Cody the Entertainer, and I feel like I got too much on there. I don't want to just completely abandon the idea of trying not to fill those voids. I might end up having to anyway and just go in with a fine brush. I do kind of like that darker color in there. Far over the misty mountains cold. Ha 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 ha. I was about to make a joke, but I stopped myself because the One Ring is in The Hobbit as well. But it's more, the One Ring is more of a focal point in The Lord of the Rings. They also did change a lot from the original story to accommodate kind of a younger adventure, because technically in the books Frodo was like 50 years old already and had already had the One Ring for like 17 years apparently before Gandalf had showed up and to bring him on this grand quest. All right, I need to let that spot dry. This is looking really good. Let's zoom in a little bit. There's some imperfections. Like I said, I will be addressing these after this layer of stuff dries, but I am pretty impressed. Well, we're at 17 minutes and I've pretty much locked in this first coat. I can't really do much more without just wiping off what I already have in there. So, yeah. I'll go ahead and pause the video for now. Let this dry for a few minutes, and then I'll be back. Teleportation magic. Alright. I'm back, and I said teleportation magic, but what I really meant was time magic. That's the wonder of having a few minutes to think about what you just said. Well, the wonder. Let me just say that. Hindsight. 2020. Other metaphors. You think it, and it'll exist. Alright. So to the touch, this is pretty much dry. It's not really tacky. I'm going to go ahead and load up some more stuff. I washed out my little foam pad doohickey in the meantime, so that way I didn't have a bunch of dry material on it. Because then the foam won't absorb anything, and I mean, that's not good for business. Alright, let's address what was that trouble area first. And that's right over here. Lightly. Alright. Just dab it across. We'll kind of swing across this top end, and then we'll switch the angle that I'm holding it at, and then do the bottom. I can't say enough good things about this paint. It does. It looks gold. It is really, really gold. Gentle. And because there's already a coat on here, I'm not having to re-dip and grab more as often. So I'm able to keep this second coat incredibly thin, which is awesome. Just kind of alternating which part of the foam pad I'm touching the surface with. Okay, we've made it back around, it looks like. I'm getting back to some stuff that I'm kind of wiping off, and I'm seeing that gray under. I'm gonna dab just a wee bit. Just a wee bit. Alright. Alright, I've done what I wanted to do on this top half. So I'm going to dab again. Nice, even, good. Because that way I'll be able to go all the way around the bottom, more than likely, with just one dab. Oh man, this looks so good. I can't wait to do the detail work on the inside. Because I definitely drug some gold into the inside, so I'm going to have to go in with a finer brush to do that detail work. I'm going to have to mix up a black and white and make a... I don't want it to be black, but I don't want it... I don't know. I want it to have more of a metal look, kind of. Okay. I think I have made it all the way around the bottom now. I'm going to go around the top again after I have done a back wipe around the bottom. This looks so good. I'm so happy with how this has turned out. Let's try and hold it in the center. Yeah, you can see the couple, it's in these long down sweeping areas where the drag kind of happened and it kind of filled them a little bit. But that's alright. I enjoy this painting stuff, so it doesn't bother me that I'm going to spend another 10 or 15 minutes or so just making sure that it's exactly what I want it to look like. Which I am definitely impressed. Sweeping across that top again. I really want that trouble area to take. Okay, dab again. Alright, interesting things to say. Interesting things to say. So that way you're just not staring at this. Because it's I mean, the view might not be the greatest. Because I'm not used to doing this. And I'm definitely in a smaller area, kind of, than I probably should be doing this. Got everything on this little end table. Man, that one spot, just that one spot is not wanting to take. There we go. Just a little bit more paint. That's the answer. Alright. I think I am satisfied with the gold. I'm going to do a little bit on this top ring. But I am going to keep the inside black. Bare plastic, just so, I mean, the contrast. Oh, man, I didn't want to do that. Well, nothing I make will ever be perfect. So I think I'm gonna call it done on the gold because this looks good. All right, I'm gonna let this dry, and I will be back to do the detail work in probably like, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. Time magic. All right, so I'm back. Got to work quick because I couldn't match up the exact color with what paints I had, so I'm taking spray paint, spraying it on my thing here, and hopefully gonna make some magic happen. Try and get the water off of my brush because during the mixing process, yeah, water happened. Water was involved. All right, let's see. Can I paint that fine? That's gonna be the question. Oh no, that's gonna be a struggle. That is going to be a struggle. I'm gonna have to dab and then wipes. It dabs and wipes. Let's see, this is delicate work to say the least. I might not be able to do this without making a mess. I don't know. Let's see if I can just wash it and then wipe it. That might work. That might end up making me do a whole nother wipe down with the gold though. I don't know if I want to do that. This brush is a little bit too much. I almost could use to cut some of this off. I think I'm going to cut some of these bristles off. Okay, after cutting off most of the bristles, I'm going to try this again. Because now I have a whole lot finer of a brush to work with. Oh yeah, it's going to be a lot better. Because now I can actually get in there without going over. There we go. I'm optimistic again about this now. Let's see. I just want to kind of stay in the areas. That need it. Ooh, come on, hands, steady up. I'll be shaking like I got DTs or something. Sorry to those who do experience that. I stopped drinking a long time ago. Stuff's not good for you. I'm no proponent for only doing stuff that's good for you, so there's that. Oh. Oh man, that detail work though. Oh, my bristles are starting to get a little wonky. Let's get them straight again. Oh man, that one is a hard angle. Alright, cool. Okay. Hold breath. Oh. Ooh, these top areas are going to be a little bit difficult. Sorry, can't talk while I'm holding my breath. Oh man, that's a fine point right there. Ooh, come on, sweep it, shoot the gap. Alright, awesome. Oh my god. Whew. Alright. Need more stuff. Spin it into a point. There we go. Alright, now which one was I on? Uh-oh. Nope, lid's popping off. Let's not do that. Let's not squeeze the thing. Ooh. I'm running out of stuff. Ooh, these little ones up here. Oh my god, there's more. There is more. Oh my goodness. Alright. Ah, there's more. Shoot. Those little 3-bop things. It's alright though. It'll look good when it's done. Especially after I get a clear coat on it. And it's already shiny, but clear coat will help lock things in. Oh. Ooh. Ha. So many more of those little 3-dot things. Alright. Miniature painters are gonna watch this and be like, "That's weak, bro. I paint with one bristle," and they do. For some of those dang minis, you have to paint with one bristle. They're so small. Okay, this is a hard angle to get. Sorry, my hand is gonna be in the way for this one because I don't have a real comfortable approach on these angles right here. Oh man, this is looking good. I really like the way this is turning out. Oh, come on. Sometimes you could just poke it. Just poke it. More stuff. Please let there be more stuff. Oh, I still have quite a bit to go. Oh, I just stuck my hand in some other wet paint from the stuff I was trying to mix. Alright. Nobody's home. I don't want to wait and walk all the way outside. Okay. Let's get back at it then. Poke, 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 poke. Poke, 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 poke. Poke, poke, poke. Poke, 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 poke. Oh no, oh, that was not cool. Poop. What can you do? Just pull out some more gold paint. That's all you can do. So now I'm gonna need, yeah, a little bit more of that gold paint. Unfortunately, I'm a klutz and I made the mistakes. All because of the lid popping off. I ain't really think about that. Gold. It's gold. Oh man. And because of it being a different type of product, that bit of surface right there is going to look rough no matter what I do in comparison to the rest of it. Oh well. There is not that can be done. I have to push forward. I will paint this thing, this golden ring. Yeah. Yeah, it's not the greatest one, but it's not the worst either, so I'll take it. Woohoo! Back to the long stuff again. Shoop. Wom, 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 wom. More of the good stuff. Oh, that dried like really quickly. Oh, it's also because of the angle that I'm holding this at. There we go. Think not of what your country can do for you, or what you can do for your country. Hmm. Whew. I think I'm getting close to being done, maybe. Oh, looking pretty good. Nice. Alright. I think I can live with that. That looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and do a little spinny guy. I'll touch up that little black spot right there with the gold before I clear coat. I'd say it's pretty good. Heck yeah. Thanks for hanging with me, guys. Well, actually, I'll pause now that I think about it, and I'll show you what it looks like after I clear coat it. All right, so there it is after a clear coat. Looks pretty good. I even clear coated the inside. Why not, right? Shiny. Yep.